Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11.
Well, a very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into Home Track Heroes here on the CW11. So great that you joined us here for another Sunday night. 2 hours of cars making left and right-hand turns at speed. We're glad you chose us to give you a little bit of entertainment. My name is Caleb Park. Joining me this week in the rotating color commentary chair, we're going to give you a little different perspective. It's coming from a car owner, a race-winning and championship pedigree car owner. This is Dirk Kruzwick. Dirk, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Caleb. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you and excited to look at some things from a different point of view, as I'm sure you see things from a whole different perspective from us in the stands and up in the booth. And boy, we got some fun classes to go and get that perspective from here tonight.
Yes, it was. It's been a different role that I've taken on, and being a car owner now from a driver, and it's a little nerve-wracking at times, but it's been a lot of fun.
Well, let's ease into it then. Let's train you into color commentary. We'll start it off. Our first division of the night is going to be the BECU mini stocks, and we're going to get some heat race action out with the sun a-shining. 8 laps around. This only matters for season championship points, but Dirk, it matters for season championship points. That's a thing that you are familiar on the car side of it for chasing.
Yes, it's heat races count as you start off with 8 points, and then you work your way down to 1 point. So heat races matter.
As tight as our battles get at the end of the year here at Evergreen Speedway, it's definitely something to keep your eyes on. Interstate Batteries Night presented by APC Auto Spa. And let's get your lineup. The front row's Gavin Ballou in the 12. He's sponsored by Reardon Engines. And outside of him, Brooklyn Bender, the 18 car, sponsored by PRCBD.
Mike Marthaler in the number 16 of Simon & Son Towing. And Justin Brave in the number 21J in Clean Crawls.
Row number 3, Ronnie Absher, the U.S. Seafood 72. Jaden Kelly is in the 24. She's sponsored by Tom's Automotive. And the final row is
Jimmy Absher in the Absher Build LLC in the number 26. And Jason Ingbaum in the Erickson Real Estate, Snohomish, Washington, number 27.
So green flag is out, and it is Gavin Ballou out to the early advantage in car number 12 from the inside of the front row. The Reardon Engine-sponsored car already with a couple of car length gap. That is Brooklyn Bender, new car to her in the 18 as she is trying to chase him down. And opens up the inside. Justin Brave quickly to make a move to the inside of the racetrack. And just like that, we're going to get a car fading out to the outside of the track. That looks like early. The 72 of Ronnie Absher says, I'm not into it. Let's turn right. Take a look from our Home Track Heroes cameras replay. And Absher already saying, well, all right, peace out. I'm out from this heat race. I'm just going to go hang out here in turn number 1. And from the car owner's perspective, Dirk, that's always kind of an ugly feeling watching your car roll to a stop in the heat race.
Looks like she had some mechanical issues, and as an owner, you're just like, oh, man. You feel bad for the driver, for one, and then on the other hand, you're like, oh, boy, how much is that going to cost me?
It's either that or can I fix it? Because there isn't a huge window of time between heat races and main events, right?
It's very stressful.
So let's go back to action. We did get 1 complete. We've got 7 to go, and remember that sunshine that we saw like 1 lap ago? It's already quickly dissipating as the dark clouds rolling in, as is their prerogative and as is something they do here in Western Washington.
As a driver, you're thinking, oh, boy, what line do I run now? And it changes the whole perspective of the race now.
So driver's side, we'll see what they end up doing. It's Gavin Ballou from the inside, another excellent start from him. And following him through, that's the 21, Justin Brave, working his way to the inside of the racetrack, and you can already kind of see it, Dirk. They tiptoed into 1, didn't they?
Yeah, they didn't know what to expect, and they all started hitting that high line in caution.
Well, didn't like the start, so John Peterson, flagman extraordinaire, says, 1 more time, maybe?
Let's do it again.
Yeah, restack them and re-rack them, so we'll let the field form back up. This is our first heat race. This is the mini stock heat race, the BECU mini stocks out there. We'll see them later on for a 30-lap A feature, and the racetrack rapidly getting moist on these drivers with 7 to go. So they started in the dry, already precipitating a little bit out there, and we'll find out how it ends up sorting out as they go 2 by 2 once again and see if we can get a green flag through turns number 3 and 4. Ballou on the inside, Bender on the outside. Bender creeping ahead, and the outside lane tends to be the preferred lane as the track starts to get wet. You can even see the puddle starting on the inside of the front straightaway. They'll launch, start off. We are green, and yeah, you can see that wet kicking off the right rear tire of Baloo coming through the corner. This got wet
the
in a
rain's
hurry.
coming down harder, and you can see the rain coming off the back of the tires now.
What do you use during the night to gauge how hard the rain is coming down? Do you look up at the lights when they turn on, or where are you looking?
It's especially on the grandstands lights, and you can really see it come down in the puddles.
Yep. So you watch where the drip, drip, drip comes down and through.
Exactly.
And for us right now, the best visual indicator of this is you watch Jimmy Absher's 26, and again, just watch the spray coming off the right rear as we went from dry to rain in a hurry. And again, here at Evergreen Speedway, we race rain or shine for most of the divisions. We had anticipated getting our Speedway Chevrolet Pro late model show in. That might change depending on how much longer this wet stuff sticks around and sticks around on the racetrack. You know, if it's a brief shower, we got a chance to get the track dry enough to where the late models can run. However, this is pretty heavy rainfall that we've got going on in this heat race.
Yeah, last year, you know, it changed so often, and sometimes it'd rain and then dry out. So you never know. Tonight might be the same way. So
see what happens. That is yet to come on the program potentially. Gavin Ballew, your leader in the 12, and Justin Brave just past halfway, I should say, through this heat race, trying to chase them down. They're kind of running around the middle right now for the mini stocks, and Jimmy Absher is kind of Mr. Excitement when it comes to rain racing here in the mini stock division. I've seen him swim that car, good choice of words, from bottom to top, almost like acting like it's a dirt track. He has no problem and no fear putting it in any place, any time. He's running in the third spot as we speak.
Yeah, with the front wheel drives, they carry the speed a lot better going through the corners. And
Look at
yeah,
you almost just saw it as Absher just nearly sailed it in, and we've got a car around. That is one Brooklyn Bender, and the 18 spun out on the inside of turn number 2. Tough break for Brooklyn.
Yeah, she's driving a Mustang, so she's rear-wheel drive, so it's a little bit difficult more in the rain for her.
Driving a Mustang out of a camp that has seen a lot of success over the years, the driver out of that camp in those cars used to be Lane Sunholm. Lane, his bugaboo was running in the rain in those Mustangs.
Yeah, he did very well converting over to a Mustang from the front-wheel drives, and he did great. Brooklyn, she ran some rain races last year as well in the trucks, so she's used to driving in the rain too.
She'll have to pick it up here in the mini stock as she will roll. See if she's able to turn around and restart here. As we're down to 5, 3 laps to go, and still working on this heat race. And wow. Hello, Gavin Ballew. That wall comes up out of nowhere. And around goes the 16 of Mike Marthaler, subbing for Travis Woodward this week. So, all right, let's take a second look at it. And I don't know. Boy, car just starts going right and doesn't turn.
Some must have broken the front end and just couldn't turn. And you can see Marthaler there doesn't have a windshield and wiper, and you can tell that it looks like his windshield's fogged up, and it's definitely difficult when you can't see.
Yeah, add that to the list of stuff to put on to the Woodward 16 in the off week, or is get the windshield wiper rigged up. And for Ballew, a promising heat race out the door. I mean, could have easily snapped a tie rod or something in that front steering as he just veered right into the wall. And well, the Bills racking up here in this heat race. Then there were 4 with 3 laps left. So we'll double them up once again. Jimmy Absher on the outside. Should be Justin Brave on the inside. At this point, you just want to tell him, okay, survive.
Yeah, and Marthaler, doesn't want to hurt Travis's car, so he's just taking it real easy.
Engbaum is pulled off in the 27. We saw him to start the race, and he says discretion is the better part of valor, so off track he goes. Your race leader, Jimmy Absher, Justin Brave in the second position. Jaden Kelly, nice run for the Jet Racing number 24. The Cookie Queen sits in that third spot, looking to bring her home as we're 2 to go, and that's the line I was more familiar with and expecting to see more of those drivers take, arcing it way high around the outside and to avoid the puddles that inevitably end up getting together at the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, turn 1's typically has a pretty decent-sized puddle when there's that much rain on there, so he's doing a good job avoiding that.
Windshield wiper clocking back and forth and making some noise as Absher comfortable out in front of this field. Now just got to put one more good lap together to finish out this heat race. Again, just a heat race. We have got B main action coming up and at least 4 A main events to come as well. As around the corner we go, and Jimmy Absher going to take this eventful heat race win as the weather conditions doing something funky with us here at Evergreen Speedway. That'll do it for the BECU Mini Stock Heats. Absher gets the win. We have got more home track heroes coming up next here on the CW11. Well, after an eventful BECU Mini Stock Heat race, we move on here on Home Track Heroes in the CW11. It is time for the Interstate Batteries Hornet B main event. Dirk Kruzwick, Caleb Hart, 15 laps for the Hornets. We try to alter their course every weekend. This week, with the wet weather, we're putting them on the road course today for a B feature. This ought to be an adventure, Dirk.
Yes, road courses are a blast in the Hornet division.
There's a lot of puddles for them to hit, though.
Yes.
This could be a bit problematic. So let's get you their lineup. Top 4 advance here in this 15-lap B feature. Chuck Fisher is on the pole in the 06. Next to him, it's going to be Brian McNamara in the True Line wheel and frame, number 101.
We got Tegan Bjornsson in the Misfit Motorsports 59 and Donna Gillespie in the 024.
In row number 3, the world's tallest Hornet driver, Preston Brandt in the North Country Towing, number 32. Next to Preston, it's Carly Croft, car number 5, sponsored by Croft's Removal.
The next row, we got Elijah Delfell in the Gino's Pizzeria in Lake Stevens, number 22. And then Trinity Rosal in the CR Gutters, number 44.
Adrian Champ drives the 51, Mrs. Turner's Hometown Cafe for the 9th starting position, number 51 car. Starting 10th, Diesel Snyder, the 717, sponsored by Hair Inc.
In the last row, we got Lola Crum in the 19L.
All right, so 11 cars. They're going for 4 spots. And again, we talk about the wet weather as they trail around behind the Evergreen Speedway Chevrolet brand new Camaro pace car. Camaro.
Beautiful car.
Gotta love it. You're a Camaro guy, right?
I was, yes.
Okay.
Still am.
All right, that works. So they got a lot of bugaboos to avoid here running the road course. We talked about the water pooling at the bottom of the track. They've got that entire bottom of 3 and 4, and then watch the puddles they have to go through just to get into the intersection. That's what's going to make this a big adventure.
And they have to stay off them Uke tires.
Ow, those Uke tires just come out of nowhere. They'll bite you.
Yes, they do.
Diesel Snyder, look out!
Oh.
You almost spoke the Uke tire thing
Yeah,
into
exactly.
existence
Boy.
on the very opening lap.
Diesel Snyder, he's aggressive, and he's going to go for it. So
He was all kinds of sideways,
Yes.
and yeah, it's already picked up a couple of positions. He's up to 6th. Out in front, race leader, that's McNamara in the 101, trying to get around the outside of Chuck Fisher. They're side by side for the lead, and they're going for it. Windshield wipers are going to overtime mode with Bjornsson 3rd, and in 4th, let's look, that should be the 32 of Preston Brandt sitting in that spot. So those are your top 4 at the moment, but anything can change here on our road course as we begin getting this B main developed.
yeah, going into turn 3 there, it's going to be interesting for some of these cats.
You're watching and going through, and you can see a lot of them jacking up on the brakes pretty quick.
Oh, there we go. We got
Oh.
one turning around, 024.
That's not the fast way around the track, Donna Gillespie. Donna's going to hang out, take a look at our wonderfully manicured grass on the inside of the 4th corner. And backs her back up, and we'll stay clean and green here at the moment in the Interstate Batteries B main event for the Hornets. Top 4 starting to spread out, though, and that's nothing but good news when you're running in treacherous conditions. Get away from people.
Yeah, exactly. And the preferred line being above there, so there's plenty of room to maneuver out of the way.
You know, some of these drivers are out there. They're gambling right now on their own talent, betting on themselves. And the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort now has sports betting. Think you can pick a winner? Prove it at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort, the only home for sports betting north of Seattle. Exit 210 off I-5 in Arlington. Oh,
Diesel.
Diesel. Looks like he belongs on the dirt track there for a second,
or the drift track, you know.
That's right. We saw DriftCon was fun here
Yeah.
at Home Track Heroes a couple of weeks ago.
Now we got a lap car mixing up.
Oh, this is going to get scary. Scary in a good way, I promise. Lola Crum has got the top 4 bearing down on her. And Chuck Fisher looking for his way around. He's going to take a wide outside-in move, and Lola will give him some space.
Oh,
Diesel Snyder.
he's got it. He's got it.
Oh, God, he is the show right
Yes.
now. Around and fires her back up. He lost like 3 spots, but I bet she's having the time of his life out there, huh? All right, so there's your leader. It is Fisher, McNamara, Bjornsson, and still in the 4th spot is Preston Brandt as they'll work their way through the intersection. We're only 5 of 15 laps into this, so anything can still happen. McNamara in the 101 works to find the combination to get around Chuck Fisher as you watch everybody else swim, quite literally, the cars around and through it's the weight transfer portion of the course, and that's where you're seeing a lot of them have problems. You got to come left off the corner, and then you got to make that little subtle right before a real hard left again.
Yeah, at 54, he's going in and dive bombing in there, and he's really pushing it pretty good.
Now, as a driver, were you a driver that wanted to have input on your setup? And as a setup guy, what would you be telling the drivers right now who have got to make this weight transfer portion of the course and do it safely?
Well, I was one of those guys that I liked to go into the corner as fast as I could. So whatever the crew chief had to do to make sure that I could make that corner, and whether it was springs or shocks or whatever, that I wanted to outbrake and outdive into that corner as much as possible as my competitor did. So.
And at this point, all of these guys are really having to trust their brakes something serious, aren't
Exactly.
they? Because here in our Hornet division, one of the things, these are cars that you race, not necessarily race cars. They're pretty limited in what you can do as far as suspension and setup goes. Look out, Donna Gillespie. I've had that feeling before of an entire field coming right at me at speed. It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Battle for the lead coming off the turn as McNamara, the 101, working on Fisher, and he's going to make the pass. You got a new leader. It is Brian McNamara. So complete the thought, these cars don't have a bunch that you can do as far as adjustment on them. Tire pressures is really the big thing that they're going to be able to use to adjust their cars. Other than that, put a cage in it, put your safety gear, and go racing in the Hornet division.
Yeah, when we ran Hornets, there was nothing you could do to them. And we went out and took my sister-in-law's Chevy Nova, and it was an automatic, and it didn't have enough power.
Oh, boy.
And it rained the first night, and we went on the road course and just dominated. And
nobody else could use the power they had to get down to the track.
All the guys with the Hondas and Preludes and everything, they were stuck just turning the wheels. And
well, sometimes it works out for you,
It worked
right?
out great, yeah.
So as we watch your front crew, that's McNamara on the 101. Bjornsson making some moves and looking for the top spot or looking to advance a position as he is sneaking up on Fisher. Meanwhile, they're getting past slower traffic there. I think I said still seeing Preston Brandt in that black 32 car in the 4th spot. So get a look at him. He is entering turn number 2 as we speak. With just 5 laps to go, the race for second, which means absolutely nothing in terms of pay or points or anything like that. But it is one car that you don't have to pass come a main event time. So that will count if Bjornsson can get around Fisher here with just 4 laps left.
Exactly. They don't have to push it if they're in the top 4 because they make the transfer, so they just want to make sure that the 5th place car doesn't pass the 4th place car.
And it looks like Preston Brandt has got some room to breathe, as we haven't seen Trinity Rosal in the screen with Preston for a good long while. Another look at your leader, McNamara, who choosing to use the inside of turns 3 and 4. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how that plays out. But so far, he's kept it nice and straight and out of the problem as he goes hydroplaning through the middle of the intersection. There's the weight transfer we were talking about, right to left again. And there's your 4th place car in Brandt, who is coming up on slower traffic. He will get through and make the pass.
Ooh, a little bit of contact.
That's Carly Croft that he's getting by. Croft is in the 8th position in the running order, so you can see how far up the field your leaders have gotten into the slower cars. 3 to go. McNamara kicking up the water as he'll come up on Crum once again, and Lola, lots of room given to the inside. Allows McNamara to get by, and McNamara just got to make a couple more times around, and the stress level will go down for him, at least for a little bit. But then we're going to put 20 plus of them on the track for 30 laps. It's just going to ratchet way up come main event time.
Yeah, he'll be on a natural high just for winning this B main, and he won't think about it until he straps in for the A main.
So McNamara in the 101. One more time around the road course. Look out, Lola! Nice save. Off of turn number 2. You just caught that in the edge of your screen. Around turns 3 and 4 for the final time, at least here in this B. And the 15-lap B feature will come to a close. Your 4 transfer cars coming around in order are going to be Brian McNamara as he takes the checkered flag. Second, it is the white 06 of Chuck Fisher. Third to Tegan Bjornsson, and the checkered flag will fly. Long ways back. Wait for it. And here comes Preston Brandt. We'll move on and has the option to tag the back of the A main. So, we're about to take a time out. We have got more coming up on an exciting episode of Home Track Heroes. It is Hornet A main time after this break on the CW11. Welcome back here to Home Track Heroes on the CW11. I am Caleb Hart. Dirk Cruzwick joining me on color commentary this week. We had so much fun with that Interstate Hornet Battery B main. Let's double the field size and double the lap count. Let's go 20-plus cars and 30 laps for the A main and all the marbles. What you think?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Very exciting.
They had been sideways and nearly in the grass and almost all over the place. And now look, they expanded. They're multiplying like rabbits. So that's going to be fantastic. Here we go. All right, row number 1. It is Mike Hawley and Jeremy Smith. Hawley in the 11, sponsored by Glen Eagle Golf Course, and Smith in the 85X, sponsored by AAA Transmission and Performance.
We got Ron Powers in the number 4 and Gino Solomon in the 17S.
Row number 3, it's Hunter Jenkins, car number 85, sponsored by Elite Construction Contractors. Next to him, the 07M of Mark Stinson.
Number 4, we got Scarlett Fisher and North Sound Fence in the number 19, and then Ryan Hassenfluck in the 33 with Cornerstone Homes.
Row behind them, row number 5, it's Annika Duncan. She's in the 163, sponsored by Misfit Motorsports. And Tammy White's going to start 10th in car number 23.
Row number 6, we got Owen Craig in the number 17 with Pat Fulger in the number 30 Olympia Pizza.
Row behind them, the versatile and talented Calvin Miller in car number 49. He's sponsored by Pacific Forestry Inc. out of Arlington. And the 81 of Bobby Fisher, sponsored by North Sound Fence.
We got Christian Miller in the number 77, sponsored by Turbo Espresso, and the all-famous Zach Bristol in the 07 by PMS Power Decals.
Row behind them, the Hair Inc. 15 of Matt Snyder. And next to him, it's Tegan Bjornsson, car number 59, sponsored by Misfit Motorsports.
In the next row, we got my brother Dan Miller in the 00 with Exterior Wall Systems Inc. And outside of him, we got Chuck Fisher in the 06.
The 21st starter is the 101 of Brian McNamara, the True Line wheel and frame car, and the 025 of Trent Gillespie in the Burger Madness car.
In the last row, we got Brad Gruhl in the Granite Falls Community Chiropractic in the G2. Outside of him, we've got Brant Preston in the 32, sponsored by North County Towing.
Preston Brandt, the world's tallest Hornet driver. The kid is like legitimately 6'6".
Yes, I've seen him.
He is huge.
He's definitely a man-child.
All right, so we're going to, not tri-box, we're going to quad box here for you. Battle for the lead out front, the bottom right corner, Scarlett Fisher, Trent Gillespie.
Somebody turned around already.
And Brad Gruhl.
Stacking them up.
Well, it looks like I-5 in the middle of the afternoon for a second. Wait for it. Wait for it. Hey, they all got through. Didn't have to call the tow trucks. We're good, at least for a minute. So the back of the field sorts itself out. You can choose whatever screen you want to watch on me. I am looking up front, and that early leader, I think, is that Solomon who snuck out in the 17? Sure is. Gino Solomon has got the top spot and is trying to get away from everybody here in this field. It's kind of fascinating watching from the in-car shots. Is there anything you're seeing there, Dirk?
No, it's pretty clean. You're not getting much mist off the back of the other cars. So it looks like they got a clean vision going in.
I'll tell you what, looking at Gillespie's camera, the thing I see is he's got some speed. That car is moving for a Hornet. He's going around the outside right now and picking up some spots. So we'll go back to the main cam, 2 laps into this, and that is a look. Solomon's got the early lead. Jeremy Smith, second in the 85X, and Ron Powers, car number 4, sits in the 3rd spot. And if right now you're Gino Solomon getting that far away from the field, you're feeling awfully good. You just want this race to stay green flag for a long time.
Yeah, it looks like it's getting a little drier on the outside there, and they're really picking up speed. Oh, there's those Zach Bristol flying on the inside there.
Look at the car fade through the corners. They couldn't quite hold it during the wet conditions. Nearly using each other as bumpers coming through. Well, dual box, Calvin Miller is in the upper left, and that's a look from the outside of what Miller's doing in the blue 49. As he is stuck up and around the outside, Bobby Fisher already losing a rear bumper cover as he comes off turn number 2. Miller looking to the inside of your defending track champion, Ryan Hausenfluck. And Ryan cruising around the outside, trying to find dry racetrack. Both of them working to move forward and pick up a position. It gets tight in the intersection. Miller.
That preferred line with nobody on the inside of him. So
just the right amount of lean on the guy in front of him coming through. Meanwhile, Fisher, who we talked about, off racetrack. He is going to the pit area, so tough for Bobby Fisher as rear bumper cover coming off, and he's going to call her a race, at least for the time being. Watch the hands on Miller as he just lets that steering wheel float coming through the corner. As Calvin Miller on the charge, he's looking for another position. Ron Powers is third in the white and blue 4-car, and he is getting all of Calvin Miller and soon to be Hausenfluck in the 33 that he can handle for a podium spot.
Calvin does such a good job with getting through the field there.
So back we go into the intersection now as you're taking a look. That's Gillespie, who's got the hatchback looking 025. Dan Miller in behind him with much bigger door numbers. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Might have given him a hard time for his little baby door numbers on his opening week. It was a thing.
Yeah.
He didn't take it too hard. Powers doing a good job holding off Calvin and Hausenfluck right now, but Calvin, another peek to the inside is who's around? Nice save. That is that the 07 Bristol? Sure is. And Zach's got some, I don't know if that's problems in the right front or not. No, that's not Bristol's 07. That might be the 07 Emma Mark Stinson who was having the issue.
Yes.
All right, so back we go into the intersection. Powers trying to hold off Hausenfluck. Hausenfluck has the inside look, and he moves forward a spot. They've also got the 85 of Hunter Jenkins trying to follow him through the black and blue car. So we're about to have multiple 85s working within your top 5, and Zach Bristol on his way as well. Bobby Fisher got the rear bumper cover torn off, and he is back out there trying to move his way through the field, albeit down a little ways. As, boy, there's just action all over the place here in this 8 main event. It's hard to keep our eyes on just one thing. There's something happening all through this 24-car field.
Yeah, it's definitely bottlenecking up through the S-curves there. And
it's like driving in Renton on 405 in the morning.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
All right, so what we're looking at is your leader. That's Gino Solomon, the black and white 17S, and he doesn't have a ton of space between himself and the rest of the pack. If you're the lead car right now, you're pushing for everything you got, right?
Yeah, and you don't know if the outside's going to work for you, the inside. You just hope whichever way you go, it's not going to cause any issues.
You alluded to earlier that the outside's the preferred line in dry track positions, but right now, if you're the lead car, you just got to go where they aren't, right?
Yeah, it's because you don't know what the person in front of you is going to do.
So putting the 163 of Annika Duncan down a lap now, Gino Solomon having a fantastic race. This battle from, I'm going to say, like 3 through 7 back has also been really good. Hunter Jenkins in the 85X, or say the 85, that's Jeremy Smith in the 85X, who's now in the 4th position, as both Miller and Hausenfluck have gotten by. So we're going to watch your lead car, that's the 17S of Gino Solomon. And in just a second, the blue with white number 49 of Calvin Miller should make an appearance in your screen. He is right there, entering turn number 2 as we speak. So Solomon's got some pad, but he's got to be careful because there's a lot of race left to go, and Calvin can make up a lot of ground in a big hurry.
Yeah, you got 19 laps to go, so there's plenty of time to make up that gap.
Solomon weaving still through heavy, slower cars as he's up on the back of the 17 of Owen Craig. It's some 17 on 17 violence coming into the corner. The inside 17 is Craig in this scenario. Solomon has to sail to the outside, and that's going to cost him some space as you see Miller shrinking the advantage, albeit just a little. Now Craig to the inside, moving Chuck Fisher backwards. Fisher from the B main event, and there goes Solomon following him. Meanwhile, Miller has cleared that pack of slower cars that he was racing in behind, and now Calvin's got to put some good laps together to shrink this gap.
Yeah, the 17S, he struggled. The cars were too wide, and he didn't want to just go up there and just ram the guy in front of him and cause them to spin out, and then he would be penalized. So he's being good and being cautious.
So far, look,
yeah.
Speaking of being good, that was a sterling example of not. Ron Powers using all of the front bumper, and Hunter Jenkins maybe getting the worst of it. It's either Jenkins or the 85 of Jeremy Smith. Those cars look very similar, so it was hard to tell who that was. But yeah, that was bad. That was naughty.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to shake a mean flag at him. Back straight away, a look again at your leader, Gino Solomon. He's looking to put the 101 of Brian McNamara down a lap. McNamara was the winner of the B feature. This time by halfway point of this main event, I am shocked that this has gone stoppage-free, Dirk. As we're 15 in, 15 to go, Gino Solomon looking good out front.
Yeah, these guys are doing a great job for the conditions.
Looks like, and I'm speculating here, but the race course looks like it is drying out. You really don't see where you had seen them hydroplaning and kicking up a lot of spray earlier. They're not doing that as much if they stay out of the puddles at this point.
Yeah, these guys, most of them run here quite a bit, so they know which areas to stay out of. And they're doing a good job of avoiding those spots.
So Solomon in through the intersection again, and again, you don't see a ton of tire spray coming up, at least from the previous camera angle. Miller has now cleared McNamara, and 1 and 2 are out, ready to battle for position on their own as soon as Calvin Miller can catch up. Meanwhile, we just had a change for third place. We haven't talked about the very fast Christian Miller in car number 77. He's worked his way around Ryan Hausenfluck. That was 1 and 2 in the point standings for the Hornet division last year, and Christian Miller desperately wants that title. He's made his way to third and is going to go chase down Calvin Miller, no relation, to see if he can pick up second. Out front, Solomon coming in on Folger. Look out, car around. Oh!
That is Christian.
The very fast Christian Miller with the commentator's curse. That was my bad, Christian. I'm sorry. Free Joe's Racing Products sticker for you at the speed shop this week if you come by. Down into the intersection again, and through again the portion of the course where they're doing all of the transition left to right to left once again. Solomon has put together 18 very good laps. Calvin Miller trying to catch him with one slower car in between them. You think Calvin probably gets Folger going into turn 3. He will, and now we're once again down to no lap cars between your top two.
How many times do you think that 17S is looking in his rear mirror right now?
That depends on your driving style, right? Some guys don't even put the rear view mirror in their car because they just want to run their race. What kind of driver were you?
Spotter-wise, when I had a spotter, no, I didn't look in the rear mirror, but the other times, yeah.
You wanted the information of where they were, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So we'll see what Solomon does as there's Christian Miller once again, as he's gotten back by the slower cars and now has about 6 to 7 car lengths that he's going to have to run down Ryan Hausenfluck to pick up and make his way through. Solomon with Calvin Miller bearing down on him, coming up to the slower car of Matt Snyder down the back straightaway. And we say slower car, Matt Snyder is actually pretty well up this field. That's just how fast that Solomon is going, as he is lapping some really quick cars, some guys that have got some speed. He's got Calvin Miller coming down on him. 9 laps to go. Your leader rolling into faster traffic with Snyder and Bjornsson right ahead of him, and Calvin Miller in second place, ready to pounce and make his move.
Yeah, with those guys banging in front of Gino there, they could cause an issue for him.
We're going back in the field now to look at Trent Gillespie in the 025, and Gillespie's got Zach Ristolin behind him. Flashback to your lead, Calvin Miller in the upper left corner of your screen. That's the in-car. Big thanks to Brandy Hood Promotions for the great in-car video.
17S.
Yeah, he got squirrely at the wrong time and had a great run ruined for the 17 of Gino Solomon. He'll fire it back up. He's still in second as of right now, so we'll see if he can hang on to that, but that just, man, Moses is parting of the Red Seas for Calvin Miller to walk into that lead.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating and bummed, but hopefully he can just keep it going and salvage a good finish at this point.
We still have not seen a stoppage in this race. We're 22, making 23 laps into it. Your race leader is Calvin Miller, and you're looking at Stinson in the 77, who I might have just cursed this race.
Oh.
Yeah, he is slowing on the outside of the racetrack. That right front has looked weebly and wobbly. Oh, no, look, he's making it off. All right, we're still good. Miller now trying to get around Matt Snyder, who was the bugaboo for Solomon a bit earlier. Solomon did hold on to second place, so that's how far out your first and second place cars were. With 6 to go, here's Calvin on the back of Matt Snyder trying to find his way around him.
Yeah, he's doing a good job keeping up on the lead there, lead lap there.
How about this for third? Calvin Miller back end slides out on him, but he has caught back up to Hausenfluck. Hausenfluck with Miller right there trying to find his way by. back in the field. Rumpled Hood on the 4 of Ron Powers as he is trying to keep things moving up and forward. Bobby Fisher's done a good job of picking his way back up and through the field, albeit down a lap at minimum as he works to the inside. With 5 to go here, we look at Miller, the white-blue, or the blue with white and red number 49, and we see the yellow lights blink on. Well, it took a while, but we got there.
Oh.
It was Bristol. All right. Well, he went to check out the lovely.
Mowing the yard.
So Zach Bristol brings out the first caution here of this main event. And boy, these drivers, they just went 24, 25 laps straight, Dirk. It's a good chance for them to at least catch their breath and reassess. Kind of a bad deal for Calvin Miller and Gino Solomon because they were checked out from all the rest of the field,
too. Yeah, they had a great
too.
lead, and they were just ready to finish this off.
All right, so we'll see what happens. Let's go back to the track now as the field's getting formed up and ready to go. As your Speedway Chevrolet pace car pulls off, we're going to go in car with Trent Gillespie, who's stacked behind a few rows here to see what he can do over the final few. The sun kind of trying to poke its nose out once again around Evergreen Speedway. We are green. Your race leader, the 49th Calvin Miller, that is a slower traffic car, a lap car of Tegan Bjornson in the 59. Second place is the black with white number 17 of Gino Solomon. He's got Ryan Housenfluck right on his tail, and that's a really bold move if he can stick it from Solomon. McNamara and Bjornson, the 2 slices of bread. Solomon, the salami, and he slides his way right through.
Well, that's a good move there.
Got to do it if he wanted to have a chance to stay up with Miller.
Yeah.
As he comes up off the corner, so Gino Solomon doing everything he can to preserve his second place run. Housenfluck is squirrely. Everybody trying to work around him. Gillespie involved in the battle. Miller involved in there. Some slower cars also. Look at Gillespie trying to make a 1-car wide hole into 2 if he can. Down the back straightaway they go. Miller's going to get away and secure that spot from him. Gillespie on the attack trying to pick up at least what's going to be 4th position. As Miller now cruising out way wide to try to work his way around Housenfluck. As Gillespie gets past McNamara, the lapped car, into the middle, he follows Miller. Miller gonna look to go outside. 3 wide life for Christian Miller, and it costs him. There's Gillespie to the inside, getting Bjornson and Christian down the back straightaway. It's Gillespie looking for 3rd, and Christian Miller not done. He's rolling back in on that 3rd place spot.
Yeah, he's showing his power, that's for sure.
We're down to 3 laps left. Calvin Miller gone. Gino Solomon in the process of checking out.
Oh, there.
Oh, bumper cars. They played tag. Here they come.
Christian Miller takes advantage of that.
Christian Miller around the outside takes over 3rd as Housenfluck and Gillespie pulled out the jam on the binders. This is all kinds of fun. Tegan, you're lapped. Let him go. Let him go, Tegan. Let him go. They're going for 4th and 5th right in front of them. It's Housenfluck in the 33, Gillespie in the 025, as Ryan is just driving the wheels off that car to get it to turn in and through the middle of the racetrack. Gillespie wants to get him desperately here in the final couple of laps. Ryan almost out into the green grass at turn number 2. And there's finally the door opening up for Trent Gillespie to try to take over 4th. Meanwhile, a little smoke showed from underneath the 33 of Housenfluck. The white flag is out. Calvin Miller enjoying a calm, cool, and collected last lap around the track. Gino Solomon as well, as all the action's been behind them for 3rd. Crazy battle going into the final couple of laps, but Calvin Miller going to take full advantage as he comes through the corner, and the versatile young man picks up another win. This evening, it comes in the Interstate Batteries Hornet A main event. Calvin Miller gets the W. Great run for Gino Solomon, taking 2nd, and 3rd goes to the very fast Christian Miller to the podium, and our Canadian secret agent on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Christian, that restart kind of bunched everybody up, and that was all you needed when Trent and Ryan kind of got bottled up there to slip past both of them coming back out onto the banking.
Yeah, I got really lucky with that one because on the restart I had like 4 or 5 lap cars in front of me, and Calvin was in front of all them. And so I was hoping to catch him, but at least I got 3rd and got around those 2.
It went pretty much clean and green up until that late race yellow. Is that kind of where you got stuck in the back and those guys were pretty much gone?
Yeah, they got around the traffic way faster than I did, and they just were able to check out. So that caution really helped me out. Still not enough to catch them, but hey, I'm surprised we didn't have more cautions with that rain.
Yeah, definitely throwing a curveball in it when it was dry all day. Anybody you'd like to thank that helps to get this 77 car out here?
Yeah, first I gotta thank Turbo Espresso, Exterior Wall Systems, Rick's Mobile AC, Matco Tools, my dad, Hornet's Nest Racing, and I think that's it for now.
Christian Miller, strong third place run in the 77. Nicely done, Christian. Make sure we get all the photo ops in. But Gino, you were out front there for such a long time. It must have been a little bit of an annoyance when you looked in your rear view mirror and saw that Calvin was closing right up in on you.
Yeah, you've always got to watch for Calvin. He's always coming, and I screwed up in the X there, you know, and I knew he was coming. I tried pushing the car too hard, so and that's the way it goes. So.
Well, at least you're trying. You can't say you didn't try.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Of course, as Christian just mentioned here, with how slippery it is, going into that infield with the transition from the banking has to get the car pretty upset and has to lead to some interesting situations.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. No, it just, the middle of the track was pretty good traction. I tried to stay there, and it worked out pretty good for me. So,
same thing, like thank the sponsors in the 17 camp?
Yes, Valley Asphalt, Snow Falls Credit Union, the Teen Shop Center, Handy in the Valley, SC, Hair Inc., and our pit crew. Yeah!
Gino Solomon, second place run. It also helps when you got the supporter with all the sponsors in the back of the hoodie to get all those mentions in. Calvin, it's been a good start to 2023 so far, and you really had to work for this one, though, up on the wheel to try and catch Gino, who was way out in front by the time you got up to second.
It was a really fun race, I think. It was entertaining, honestly. It was about rain races. It's not about speed, it's about patience. So I was just trying to pick off one car after another and see where it ended up, and I got it to the front, and the yellow didn't help me at all. I was hoping there wasn't going to be yellow, but we made it work, so it was a good race.
The lap traffic kind of played into your favor there. You mentioned patience and trying to pick your way through. When there's so much happening in front of you, what do you have to do behind the wheel of one of these things to try and pick your way through?
For the last 6 laps there after the yellow, I was just taking it easy. Didn't want to loop the car. I just want to get the race over with, you know. Just trying to get it over, trying to get it done. I'm sweating too, so I was just getting tired.
You got another race after this too in the Singers.
Yeah, I got like 2 or 3 classes in between. I got a little bit of a break, so.
I'd like to thank the sponsors with the 49 camp, Calvin.
Northwest Poly Services, Precision Forestry, Cox Wheels, Brandy Hood Promotions, and my mom and dad, my sister, and everybody that comes out here to support me.
Calvin Miller, your main event winner tonight in car number 49. Nicely done, Calvin.
Welcome back to Home Track Heroes here on the CW11. Thanks for spending your Sunday afternoon with us. I'm Caleb Hart. Dirk Cruzwick hanging out with us this week and having a good time. We're moving from the small cars to the big cars, and we're going on the figure 8 here, Dirk. It is time for the Frank's Radio Outlaw figure 8s coming up, and these guys are an adventure, especially when it gets wet.
Yes, real big motors and really fast cars.
A lot of side bite being produced out of the big wings on the back of them. Let's give you a look at your starting lineup. The 007, that is Jim Powers, sponsored by Pilchuck Heating. Jamie Corbett next to him, the 767 A1 Auto Service Center, Ryan Berg, the sponsor.
In row number 2, we got Nick Holton, Northwest Adventure Rentals in the number 71, and Jillian Lapato in the 0 of Hager Motorsports.
Row number 3, it is Ricky the Kid Dietz, Tire Pros of Arlington, the 676. And next to him, it is Ryan Clark, car number 51, sponsored by Bulldog Heaven Northwest.
Row number 4, we got John Carlson in the number 50 with the Fireplace Guy, Hearth and Home LLC. Next to him, we got Chris Curtis in the number 74.
Final row, Zach Larson. It's the 83G. Next to him, Dakota Wilkinson, Tony V's Garage, number 25. As we're just about ready to go green flag racing. Now, these guys when it gets wet, and you can see there is some wet stuff out there, they have fun. They're already breaking the rear ends loose on these cars coming off the corner, trying to get maximum power out of them. So they've really got to, I don't want to say power down, but throttle control is a big thing to keeping those back ends from looping all the way around on them as they get out of the turns here in the figure eight. Let's start with an in car from Ricky the Kid Dietz, and he will follow into turn number one as we're underway here for this 30-lap A main event. You can see all the moisture that is still out there as it hits the GoPro, something serious. Wheels and tires are wet, although you don't see a lot of spray coming up and off the tires at this point. So there's Dietz around the corner and working around the outside of the south pole. See if he can get the car to stick. Picks up the throttle. He is chasing around your top three at the moment, which, if I'm seeing that right, should be Jamie Corbett, his teammate, out in front of the field. That is Powers in second and Lapato in the third spot as they roll on through. And nope, it's Nick Holton in the third spot. So Corbett, Powers, Holton 1 through 3, Dietz is 4, and I think Carlson might have worked his way up to 5th already as you take a look at the line.
Yeah, as you can see, there's no tin or body panels or anything, so they get direct spray right off from the car in front of them. And a lot of these guys don't run windshields, so they get contact.
They're getting, all up in your face, right? So if you're one of those guys who likes to run the visor open, it's all hitting you right in the eyeballs as you're coming through.
From experience, that's not a lot of fun.
I can imagine not being. Ricky Dietz moved up into third. You saw him a little bump to Holton in the middle of the North Pole, took advantage and rolled right through. So now Corbett, Powers, Dietz 1 through 3 as we're quickly 4 laps into this, and soon to be 5. Field stretching out, and imagine, I don't know, another 2-3 laps or so, Jamie Corbett might be seeing some intersection action, the most dangerous intersection in the world.
Yeah, and with 600 horsepower in these little 8-inch tires, it could be very interesting.
So Corbett, you can see him fighting that race car to get it through the intersection and keep the wheels underneath him. Meanwhile, John Carlson has worked his way up into 4th. He passed Holton for the position. Holton now is getting pressured by the Boney Brothers cars as Clark and Curtis stacked in, trying to make their way through the field. Up front, good feeling for Jamie Corbett. He's a former feature winner here in the class, and gotta like being out front and all by himself. Not exactly up on the tail of the field yet, so intersection not a problem. However, Ricky Dietz is now second as he'll move his way past Powers. You know how quick the kid is.
Yeah, the last thing he wanted to see was Ricky getting past Jim, so he was hoping that that would last a little bit longer.
That is your defending track champion in Ricky Dietz. He was the winner of the 60 Minutes of Fear at the end of last season. He won our season opening race here this year, so he's on a bit of a win streak, so to speak. Bridging over the seasons, he's found a lot of speed in that program. As there goes John Carlson making the big move as Corbett now having a hiccup in the intersection. Look out, car sideways, that's Holton. As Holton's going to go back a couple of spots. Clark in the 51 and Curtis in the 74 will move through, and boy, look how quickly that gap shrunk between those two. Dietz right up on Corbett.
Yeah, anytime you have to slow down for the intersection to allow Ricky to catch you causes issues.
Done any figure eight racing yourself, Kirk?
No, just a bus.
Oh.
Does that count?
That does. Those buses are...
And a train race.
Yeah. Train racing, missed that.
Yeah, that was scary.
Battle for the lead is on. Out in front of the field. Dietz right up on the back of Corbett. Little bump getting into the corner. Corbett washes wide. New race leader. About 10 laps into this thing, it's Ricky Dietz, and you may as well wave sayonara to him right now because he's about to check out, I think.
Is that okay to do that to your brother?
It might be. Yeah, he's going to do her anyways, right?
Exactly.
There are no friends, no family on the racetrack, right?
Yeah. Once you put that helmet out, no more longer family.
Which is funny. So as a team owner, right, it is a team effort. However, auto racing still ends up being the ultimate individual sport at the end of the day, too.
Exactly. But, in the end, you're supposed to respect one another, but sometimes that doesn't always happen.
Not necessarily.
You just hope at the end of the night, you're still talking to one another.
You saw Dietz, he had to hiccup a little bit as he got into the intersection. That intersection getting a little busy. It allowed Corbett to keep him within range. And, Ricky is getting wide off these turns. Jamie's putting good laps together. This is by no means over, although Ricky got through the intersection better that time than Jamie did. So keep an eye, battle up front between Dietz and Corbett as they are working in and through. Larson in the 83 is that car that you see at the back of the field. Right now, Ricky on his run. Let you guys know this segment brought to you by Evergreen Health of Monroe. When your need for speed gets the best of you and you end up needing stitches or having bones set, Evergreen Health Monroe is your full-service community hospital ready to take care of you when you need them the most.
What's impressive is how these guys and gals can time it through the intersection and get on it from a, close to a dead stop and accelerate through without, spinning the car too much.
What's been told to us on previous broadcasts by some of the drivers with figure eight experience, there is no right of way when it comes a main time, as Corbett gets a whole lot of front bumper from Carlson. Carlson almost got nicked coming in, and then contact in the south pole. Around goes Corbett. What a weird sequence of events, and it started with contact in the intersection, just a hiccup of it.
Yeah, I'm sure, it doesn't look like the caution's coming out, so Jamie's got a long ways to go to catch back up.
That's a rough run there for Jamie Corbett. Dietz going to sneak underneath and put Dakota Wilkinson's 25 a lap down. So Dietz now with breathing room, a lap car in between himself. Cowboy Carlson is second. Chris Curtis is in the third spot. In the third spot and a ways back from them. So out in front, it's Ricky Dietz. We're over halfway. 17 down, 13 to go. He's got a breather in the intersection for the time being, but right now, nobody in his rear view mirror and clear track ahead of him. He can put some really good laps together. You're watching the 007 of Jim Powers and the 51 of Ryan Clark. That should be fourth and fifth. It is. So that's what those drivers were duking it out. And back to a look at them here in the south pole of our figure eight course. Powers putting together a nice run today. There's a look at that battle and your leader splitting that battle. So that's how far ahead of the field Ricky Dietz is right now, as he's got a half track on the drivers running fourth and fifth, now crossing in front of them and quickly catching up to the back of the very bright Jillian Lopato, who takes her time coming around the corner, gets to the intersection as Wilkinson was the one who checked up there. And next time by, we're going to be under 10 laps to go. Into the single digits here in a rapidly moving Frank's Radio Outlaw figure eight main. Beating and banging into the corner. Clark was, oh boy, he's taking
three wide. Here we go.
He's taking the scenic route to go way out and around, and that's going to cost him. Zach Larson moving forward in the 83, almost had him strung all the way out. Now it's Powers who's going to cede a spot back to Wilkinson. Right place, right time for Clark. He'll get by. Larson in there. Chris Curtis is third. No, is that Curtis? That's Holton in the 71.
Yeah.
So Holton the 71 is around, and we're going to get our first caution flag of this race. John Peterson, you see from inside the tires, and let's get a look at how that all went down. Into the corner he goes, and boy, that wasn't much. It didn't take much from Jamie there to get into him and get him around. That's how twitchy these cars can be. Yep, just right place, right time, and around they go. See what kind of penalties are assessed, but that's going to bunch this field up. That's going to give John Carlson a chance to start right up on the back of Ricky Dietz here with about 10 laps remaining.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting now and see if Ricky can keep that lead going, and or John Carlson can take advantage of the caution.
Yeah, some names are very familiar for you if you guys have followed figure eight racing here at Evergreen Speedway for a while. So we go on board with Cowboy Carlson, who's working on Ricky Dietz, Delaware style restart coming. Green flag out. What's he going to choose to do with the kid right in front? And he's getting worked over on the outside. We'll call it the inside, depending on which corner that you're looking at. So Carlson going to give some room into the turn. You can see tires bumping and banging through the corner. And that is Chris Curtis, who's going to shuffle Cowboy back a spot. So Curtis into second on the restart, and then he gets a shot to the shorts from John in the middle of the south pole, We're down to 8 to go, and that's everything that Dietz wanted to see. Yeah, you guys race for second. I'll just take off.
Yeah, those 3 guys right there have a lot of experience here at Evergreen Speedway. Race each other a lot of times, so they know each other very well.
You know, it's kind of a fascinating thing. Curtis has publicly stated that, you know, when it gets wet out, he is not a big fan, and we've seen him leave the car in the trailer a time or two when it's been wet outside. Today he chooses to go with it as Dakota Wilkinson lapped car goes loop-de-loo in the South Pole. Engine fires,
Yeah,
and he's back up and going.
It's tough to see that Dakota Wilkinson, he had a rough time in the heat races and stuff, and they had a long day getting the car back together again. So,
well, Wilkinson will at least be able to fire back off and hopefully finish off this main event. See a checkered flag as your race leader is down to 5 to go. The roll continues for Ricky the Kid Dietz, looking to put another trophy into his trophy room, and that's got to have a lot of hardware in it after all these years and all those wins. Meanwhile, back in the field, Clark in the 51, Powers in the 007, Larson in the green 83, and Holden in the 74, still battling all lead lap cars. That's a good race tucked in there. Your top 3 have spread out, or at least first has spread out from second, third, and what is fourth, as they all roll in and through the field. Wilkinson, the slower car, holding up second and third in Curtis and Carlson with 4 laps left. See how they manage the slower traffic, both of them a ways away from anybody crossing through to where they're going to have to brake or speed up.
yeah, Curtis is having a difficult time getting around Dakota there, and he's being very kind.
And you saw the field has now started braking in the intersection, so the slower cars got a little bit slower, and now you're going to have to time up that run through the intersection just right. Chris Curtis struggling with the 25 of Dakota Wilkinson, who does make the move to the way outside in that turn, and that allows Chris by. Carlson going to have to use the outside of the North Pole, but only has 1 more lap around to do it, as Ricky the Kid Dietz takes the white flag just a single more time around, as 1 more pass to the intersection, and 1 more time through for them. So to the checkered we go, and give the victory to Ricky Dietz, as he will take another in his 676. Chris Curtis, a runner-up in his car, and then Cowboy Carlson in third. And let's get their thoughts down here on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
John, you were in second there for a little bit, and then that restart kind of jumbled things back up, and Chris snookered you there right at the end.
Yeah, he got a good run on the outside. His car was working better than mine was. I was really loose on my entries, exits, and he was just holding it tighter and better than I was, and he got me. It was a fun little restart with him.
I know you've had, I think it was thirds the last 2 times you've been out here, or at least on the podium the last few times. Little bit to go to the top step. What do you got to do to beat the 676?
He's got to quit starting so close to the front, making it too easy for him.
I'd like to thank sponsors and supporters with the 50 camp here, John.
Yeah, I got my Cabo Loco guys that are new this year with me. They helped me out last year also. My buddy Tony, who's home at his shop. My little fireplace guys. That's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the race. We had a little bit of some intersection stuff there.
John Carlson, third tonight, the main event in car number 50. The Cowboy getting home a podium. Close, but yeah, another podium run there for Chris. Is I know third place last time out, second place, so it's just logical that next time it should be a main event win.
Yeah, we hope so. You know, if it would have stayed dry tonight, I probably would have had something for Ricky, but in the wet, it's hard to beat him. He's pretty fast in the wet, and you know, but all in all, a good race. I don't normally race in the rain, but it stayed just dry enough for me to decide to keep going tonight.
When conditions change like that, kind of midway through the night, what kind of a curveball does it throw you guys? And I think it was even midway through a heat race, it started doing it as well.
Yeah, it throws us a pretty big curveball. There's quite a few changes you have to make, whether the track is going to get wetter, if it's going to stay like this, and you know, it's a tough call when you got sprinkles coming down and you're not sure what to do, and you just got to make your best guess at it and see what happens. We actually thought it was going to dry out a little bit as the race went, and it really didn't. So That was our major downfall tonight.
Sponsors with the 74, Chris?
Yeah, we got Vince and Erica Hurtado with Bulldog Haven Northwest. Thank them. Bob Barton's Glass, Action Machine, Thermotech Powder Coating, JB Blaster, Elevate Media, the whole team. My wife, right there. She's the best one out of all of them.
Getting the most important thank you in last. Chris Curtis, second tonight in car number 74. Ricky, it's been a dream start to the season for you. I think you got, what was it, 2 main event wins all last year. You've already beat your total 3 races in this year.
Yeah, I have. I won the only race I won last year was Figure 8 Nationals and 60 Minutes of Fear, which are 2 good races to win. As a matter of fact, this makes 4 in a row. If you want to count the last race of the season, I guess. I can't believe it. I've never done 4 in a row. I've never done 3 in a row. As soon as it started raining, I knew I had a pretty good chance because the car was really good earlier, the first hot lap. And I thought, the gods are looking after me. But, you know, it still was tough. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world. It's hard to control these cars with all that horsepower and a little tire.
And of course, that restart thrown in with about 9 to go had to have you looking behind you a little bit.
No, actually, I don't look behind me. I have a guy named Augie that is on the radio up there and tells me to just look out the front windshield. And he'll tell me if there's anything coming up, and he does a great job for me, and thank you, Augie. He's probably a lot of success, the reason I'm having as much success as I am.
I'd like to thank, I know you got Tire Pros and a few others there that help you out each and every week.
Yeah, I got Tire Pros. They help me out a lot. I also have J2 Racing. They feed my car with the fuel, and who else? You know, I got the Rev and my crew, and most importantly, every single one of you up there that come out here and give me the opportunity to do this for you, which I love doing, and I hope I get to continue to do this for many more years.
Ricky Dietz, your main event winner for the 3rd straight evening, 4th straight. One more thanks.
Yeah, I need a bunch of little kids. If there's any little kids that want a PTM shirt, I need you guys to gather up over here, and I'm going to toss this up, and you guys can fight over it.
Ricky Dietz, your main event winner tonight, car 676 in the Outlaw Figure 8s. Congratulations, Ricky.
Well, the action continues on Home Track Heroes here on the CW11. He is Dirk Kruzwick. I am Caleb Hart, and we move on. We've got 30 laps of 4-cylinder action on the 3/8s coming up. The BECU Mini Stock A main event rolls onto a wet racetrack. Dirk, 15 BECU Mini Stocks out there for this one, and let's tell them all who the starting lineup is. Austin Kramer has got the pole in the Village Tap House and Grill number 14. Next to him, it's Michael Fritz. Car number 2 is sponsored by Crooks and King's Barber Company.
Second row, we got Brooklyn Bender in the PRCBD number 18. Outside of her, we've got Jeff Henderson in the JD Garcia Construction number 99.
The third row is Justin Brave. Brave sponsored by Clean Crawls. He drives the 21J. Lyndon Smith, our most recent feature winner in the PRCBD.com number 221, starts 6th.
Fourth row, we got Mike Marthaler in the Simon & Son Towing number 16. Outside of him, we got Randy Dittmar in the ATR Andrews Truck Repair number 61.
Fifth row made up of the Cookie Queen, Jaden Kelly in the Tom's Automotive number 24. And next to her, it's Ellie Musgrave in car number 23.
Sixth row, we've got Jason Ingbaum in the Erickson Real Estate in Snohomish, Washington, number 27. Outside him, we've got Ashley Rasmussen in the Freelancer Communications, number 92.
Jimmy Absher, he is a lot of fun to watch in the wet. Car number 26, sponsored by Absher Build LLC. He starts 13th. 14th starter, Chase Gardner. The 32 is sponsored by HCI Steel Buildings.
Last row, we've got Ronnie Absher in the U.S. Seafoods, number 72.
All right, green flag out on this field. A nice start for Michael Fritz. Fritz trying to get far away.
Oh.
Splish, splash, they were taking a bath as
Ashley Rasmussen.
that stinks for Ashley. She's trying to go 3 wide through the middle and through the slick, and well, she got through as some drivers certainly got the cars a little bit more moist. Let's watch from Jimmy Absher's perspective. Puts the left front down in there. Another in-car look. Ellie Musgrave misses it. Here's from Ashley's point of view. This could be fun. Oh, she saw a gap. She was going for it. No.
I wonder what Pit Mom was thinking right now, just going, oh boy.
Oh, no. Well, first lap, we're going to have to stack them all up and try them again, and you think they'll probably settle down a little bit now getting into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, especially Ashley. She's going, oh, I think I'll either stay high or low.
Those drivers who just went in through the puddle, they're going to have to deal with their tires being a little slick, so you imagine we're going to see them scrubbing a little bit more back and forth, right? But the secondary part to that is, might have got up there. Car might have got their driver's suit and their shoes wet. That's kind of miserable.
Yeah, some of these cars aren't very sealed off very well.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll go back to green flag action, a second look here at another restart from Lyndon Smith's perspective. Green lights are on. Do they all do it a little nicer? The inside, Austin Kramer. Oh, that car fishtailed on him. He got her, though. Handles her, and down the back straightaway, they go side by side.
Looking, trying to go 3 wide there.
We're still green, so everybody is doing their thing. Smith is up into second place already. He is chasing Fritz in the 2 car. Lyndon making the bid for the lead down to the inside at turn number 1. And he has got it. So Lyndon Smith, your new leader. We're watching the racing through the back of the pack. Jimmy Absher going full send out on the outside groove. Well, I told you he was fun to watch in the wet weather.
He loves that outside groove there when it's wet, and he's an animal.
We're going to watch him sail around. It looks like he's tucking her in the bottom. Meanwhile, Fritz re-racing with Lyndon for the lead, and Smith in danger of giving it right back. Michael Fritz retaking the lead. Justin Brave trying to roll him down as well. Henderson's 99. That's Jeff Henderson in the 4th spot. And Absher is coming something serious. Down the front straightaway go, but Fritz retakes the lead. Now Lyndon going to change lines. He'll try to wiggle his way around the outside. Justin Brave making the big move as he's looking for second place.
I know Fritz, he really wants this win.
Oh, Ronnie. No good. Second time. Ditmars is also getting splashy again for the second time.
Yeah, what's tough too is the guys up front, they don't know what's happened back there, so unless their spotters are communicating, this could be, yeah, right there.
Bam, standing water now on the racetrack, and that costs Brave in that opportunity, as there goes Absher trying to work his way around. Jimmy Absher is up and into 4th. Fritz hanging on to the top spot. Lyndon Smith is second. Brave, let's see if he can recover from going through the standing water, although it looked like he was starting to arc it low, but he came off and through the middle. It's going to hurt Fritz this time. There goes Smith into the lead. Fritz is going to work down low in turn number 3. Sorry, not Fritz. It was, Brave.
There's Ashley again.
Yeah, Rasmussen in and around. Let's take a look at a couple of the replays, and while you get a look at that, we'll tell you that this segment is brought to you by Monroe Grocery Outlet, your locally owned neighborhood grocery store. They offer name brand products, fresh produce, organics, wine, and more at 40 to 70% less than traditional grocery stores. Shop them first and save from Monroe Grocery Outlet, the proud sponsor of the Superstock Figure 8 class.
Jaden Kelly does a great job avoiding Ashley there.
Probably a good place to pick up some paper towels to wipe down the windshield and the car at this point in time, is we've had a lot of drivers in that pool at the bottom at 2. It's affecting the drivers that get into it, but it's affecting the drivers who have to race on the track after it. It's kicking up a lot of standing water onto the surface.
Yeah, it's really slick when that happens.
Well, let's get another look and see how this goes. We're only 5 laps into it, and turn number 2 has been calamity corner so far early in this race. A lot of laps left to go in the BECU mini stock main. Up front, it is Lyndon Smith in the 221. Michael Fritz next to him in car number 2.
A little bit of contact there.
That might be the subtle way to put it. They really got to beat and banging. Into the turn they go, and right through that water again, and that's going to give Fritz the chance to roll on the outside.
Look at Absher there, going down low.
Oh, get him, Jimmy.
Oh.
They're going 3 wide. It is a Lyndon Smith sandwich through the corner, and Absher's the one who's going to sneak through and pick up second. So Jimmy Absher on the hunt. He started deep in this field. He was 13th, and at a turn number 2, was 6 laps down. He's trying to nose his way into the lead, and caution lights are on. Who is it? What is it? It is the 61 of Randy Ditmars. So Ditmars into the corner, and the back end's just going to step out and around him, and Yeah, Volkswagen Scirocco?
Too much for a break, maybe.
Think so? All right, so what do you think the car is that Dittmer's running? That's part of the fun I always have here in the mini stocks. You can kind of tell what the Mustangs are, but he's got one of the hatchback-looking things.
Was it a rabbit?
I think it's a Rabbit or a Scirocco. Let's get
Yeah.
another look at it. So, Team Volkswagen, Team front-wheel drive, baby. That's the way to go. And sideways engines, that's even more fun. So we get back to her. Absher on the inside, Fritz on the outside. We got another lap in. As they'll stack up. See, there's Dittmer's right at the back. I'm going to say Scirocco. I think it's a little longer than a Rabbit, right?
Yeah.
All right. We're in agreement. Green flag again, and it's Absher shooting into the lead. Double file restart. Fritz is second. Justin Brave has a nice look to the inside in turn number 3. And now Lyndon Smith is going to try to make her 3 wide.
This is great.
This is amazing. 3 distinct racing grooves. Who can pilot through? It's Lyndon Smith getting the spot. And, Jaden. No, save it. Oh, nice save. Could have been worse. Rolls to a stop. Rolls back going. All right, we'll stay clean and green for the moment. We get another lap complete. Look further back in the field to the 99 of Jeff Henderson, who's trying to make his way through.
Oh, no.
And Austin Kramer and
a little bit airborne there.
Randy Dittmers. Well, Dittmers is getting a lot of TV time here on Home Track Heroes. So let's see if he can take advantage of it. Here's a look from Ashley Rasmussen's car as to what she saw as the car's in the corner.
Nice job, Ashley.
And one more look at it as we get ready to go to commercial break. Stay tuned. You are watching Home Track Heroes here on the CW11. You're watching Home Track Heroes here on the CW11. Thank you for spending your Sunday night with us. He's Dirk Kruzwick. I'm Caleb Hart, and we are a handful of laps into the BECU Mini Stock A main event. So we get ready to roll back to the track, and it seems like something's happened every time we turn our head. Dirk, there's cars sideways all over this racetrack. It's been interesting.
Yes, this is very exciting.
So Jimmy Absher is your leader. Absher, choice of lanes, he's going to go to the outside. Michael Fritz in the 2 car is now to the inside, as we didn't show the choose cone. That happened during the commercial break. Down the straightaway they go. It's Lyndon Smith who chose the outside, chose to follow Absher. And in through turns number 1 and 2, that looks like it's going to be a good decision for him, as he's going to retake the second position. Justin Brave going to retake position 3. So those drivers who took the outside smart on the restart, as they're back into positions 1, 2, and 3. As Ashley Rasmussen. Randy Dittmers has been, him and Rasmussen have been the 2 cars that we have seen a lot, and I don't think we've got in-car off of this one again, as Ashley loops it, and boom, that's how you take off the front of a Ford Mustang, just like that. So there's a look from Mike Marthaler. Nice look at the MSD and the number on the inside of that's flashing, running for Travis Woodward this weekend, and the carnage in the Rasmussen car as she rolls off racetrack.
Yeah, that couldn't have been such a great feeling, knowing that the other car was coming straight for you, and there's nothing you can do about it except for just prepare for impact.
Hit the brakes a little bit harder to try not to roll further down into it at that point.
Exactly. You just sit there and just wait for impact.
Just start peeling off the $100 bills at that point in time too. I mean, you look at a collision like that, the entire left front of that car is going to be destroyed to the point where you wonder about the front clip at that kind of impact.
Yeah, she's got a good crew, so they'll get her back going again.
Well, let's roll back into green flag action. We've got 9 down, 21 to go. And once again, Absher choosing the outside groove. Back in, stepping out, but he'll drive it. Can he keep his foot in the pedal? He can. And still has a nose going into the corner, although there's another wet spot getting in at the top of turn number 3 that made it look like he lifted a little early. Now Absher's going to hold that spot. Brave pulling up into second, and now it's Lyndon Smith in third, as they will start fanning out and getting away from each other.
Yeah, it's raining a lot harder now, so it's taken an effect on the conditions of the track.
Well, let's watch and see how they navigate it. This segment brought to you by PRCBD. Swing by PRCBD in Arlington for all your CBD questions or needs for people, pets, and more. Go to prcbd.com and use promo code RACE. There is Absher Part 2, Ronnie Absher working to the inside, and that is Chase Gardner in the 32 that he is passing up. Gardner, the 32, son of Mike Gardner, who been around Evergreen Speedway in various forms and functions for many years. We will see that family running late models at some point in time this year. That is the thing that is coming.
Yeah, his car is out there tonight, and it looked beautiful.
Unfortunately, late model main event has been canceled due to the wet weather. That is one of the things that we don't do for the Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Model Division. So, unfortunately, their class, we will not see them tonight on Home Track Heroes, but hopefully once again in a future show. Jimmy Absher leading. Jaden Kelly doing a nice job back in the pack. 24 car. She's in 6th, and that's Michael Fritz in the 2. Trying to chase her around. That is absolutely a Volkswagen. We know that that's a Volkswagen that she's running around.
It's definitely a Rabbit.
We are certain of that. We know that that's a Mustang that Brooklyn Bender is rolling around in the 18 car as she tries to make her way up the field. Justin Brave, the 21, sitting in 2nd and a little ways behind Jimmy Absher. And yeah, you're right, Dirk. This wet weather is starting to pick up once again. The puddles are intensifying, and the drivers definitely having to exercise some more throttle control as they roll into the turns and figure it out. Now, Jimmy Absher, he's a crazy man. He's going to continue to push it to its limits, but everybody else showing just how wet and how treacherous it is out there as the 2 of Fritz passes the 24 of Kelly, and that'll move him into position number 6.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the guys who love rain and who don't like it as much.
Marthaler in the 16, fresh off a podium finish in his street stock. That was the race-winning car on week number 1 in what was a very crazy race itself. Is Ronnie Absher in the 72. Going to hang off just outside or inside the rumble strip there in the 4th corner. Everybody will make it around, so we're over halfway through this. Ronnie Absher goes around, and what this is going to do is stack them back up and make them 2x2 for a restart in the wet weather. You have a lot of trust for that driver that's next to you here on these restarts in the wet.
Yeah, because if you're on the inside, you're looking to get up high, and if you're up high, you're just hoping that guy doesn't run you over.
Yeah, take you out off into the grass to do a little agricultural racing. Front row is going to stay the same with Absher and Brave. It is Lyndon Smith on the outside of the 2nd row. Chase Gardner has chosen to go the inside of that row. Row in behind them is Fritz and Kelly. So we're back to green. And Absher gets a good restart that time. Up and around he goes. In 2nd is Brave. In 3rd, once again, is Linden. And there's Gardner in 4th, ready to start attacking to see if he can do anything with Linden in the 221. So out in front, Jimmy Absher. Still holding the top spot. Linden doing a good job of keeping Brave close and getting an idea of where he wants to go after.
Yeah,
but
he's driving her in there pretty good. Oh, we got
Jason Engbaum
yeah.
is the car that's in and around. You know, Engbaum, him and his crew had to completely rebuild that car before week number 1. They had to thrash to get her back together as they had some problems on a practice day that caused a lot of frame and body damage. And Jason getting faster every week. Unfortunately, we gave him wet weather this week, so having to work on the rain setup. But the rain setup is something that everybody who runs in the rain has to have in their playbook.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Some people have a completely different rain setup, and others don't.
The thing that doesn't change, you are still on the same tire, though, in every division in the wet weather.
Yeah, a lot of them either jack up the air pressures or drop the air pressures quite a bit. But
well, okay, so as we get back to this restart, let's watch and see how they get through 1 and 2. It's Absher once again getting it around the corner. Brave doing a good job of keeping up with them. Battle for 3rd. Gardner is now inside. Lyndon Smith forcing Smith to carry the speed on the outside. Gardner looking to be getting faster as this race goes on. So you said a lot of them will either jack up the air pressure or drop the air pressure. What's the theory behind each way on that?
You know, less contact on the ground, you know, for jacking up the air pressure. It's just, you know, just a theory, but
okay.
I think it just depends on how confident your driver is, you know.
Are you willing to give away the speed secrets of the number 3 street stock and tell everybody what you do in the rain as far as the air pressure goes?
That's the thing. They don't tell me that kind of stuff.
Oh,
you know.
Tell you, but you'd have to kill you, right?
I'm just the parts guy.
Gotcha. All right.
And the cleaning guy, so.
The cleaning guy.
Yeah.
I like it. That works.
Yeah.
Well, a little further back in the field, Gardner lost touch with that front group, but here is Kelly. Sliding her way. Nice pass, Jaden, down the front straightaway. Gardner coming back after her. He's going to make the bold move to the inside. 10 laps to go.
Oh, there he goes.
We have got rabbit on rabbit violence coming through turn number 2. And it is Kelly in the 24 with the spot, but Gardner not giving it up, willing to be bold going into turn number 3. Pulls up a little bit short. Kelly's going to have the spot, but that race will continue. For second, Brave versus Smith. Brave has gone up racetrack a half groove, and that's right in the line that Lyndon wants to be in. Our most recent feature winner in Lyndon Smith, he's going to take her up all the way to the outer limits, at least in turn 3, trying to find a space around Justin Brave, and Brave playing some good defense and putting good laps together. That's a great race for second.
Yeah, Lyndon Smith is just trying to apply enough pressure to hopefully, oh, there she goes.
Oh, Jaden Kelly had such a good run going, and you saw the left rear hooking into the dirt off of turn number 2. Let's get a look from one of our home track heroes replay cams from the up top shot. Got in and started getting the car rotated down the back straightaway, and that's just a little oversteer that kicked the back end around too far from the cockpit into the turn, counter steering to try to save it, and once you're off into the dirt, it'll hook you and stop you.
Yeah.
I do like her setup on the sitting there on the gauge panel that she's got going as she was ready to go again. That was a nice little setup inside the 24 car, and unfortunately for Jaden, ruins a pretty good run.
Yeah, it's I like the clean look. You know,
Yeah.
that's one thing that I obsess over is it's frustrating to see the wires dangling and everything.
Well, her car well set up for it, hopefully. Let's see if she's back out. She is. She's going to give her another try. You saw her hammer in the starter button to try to get her fired back up. I know she's got one of those good Interstate batteries in her car. Interstate batteries for all your battery needs, cars, trucks, vans, or electric vehicles. Interstate batteries, your one-stop for flashlights, cell phones, and key fobs here in Snohomish County. Visit Interstate Batteries in Everett. Back to green we go. Jimmy Absher, Justin Brave for third once again. The white 32 Chase Gardner on the inside of the black and yellow, black and gold 221 of Lyndon Smith. Smith going to hold on to the spot as the freight train into the corner goes in the wet weather. Jimmy Absher doing a great job here. He's got 3 laps to go. Brave getting a little more bold, if you prefer. Coming into turn number 3, he's closing on your leader, Jimmy Absher. You saw him pick up the pace, and you wonder if he's willing to risk it for the win here in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, Jimmy Absher is just, he's coasting, but then again, he knows that Justin Brave's behind him, giving him up a little pressure now, and he's just thinking, okay, just don't spin.
Both of these the drivers here in the mini stocks, both rear view mirrors and spotters in most cases. So if he's got somebody on the radio, he's telling them, Jimmy, take her easy, you're good. If he's watching the rear view mirror, he knows Brave close enough to do something if a big boo-boo happens. So the next time by, we'll have 3/8 of a mile left to determine this one. As you're watching Kelly climb back up the pack. Heck, Ronnie Absher's got all 4 wheels down, is looking fast all of a sudden. But with 1 to go, can Jimmy Absher pull off the A-main win? He has been Mr. Excitement here in the wet weather. He's looking for his first feature win of the year. Down the back straightaway in the BECU mini stocks. And into the final set of corners.
Jimmy Absher's listening to his spotter saying 2 cars, 3 cars, and he's just going, thank you.
Well, the crowd going wild down by the yellow stripe as Absher wins. Brave second and Smith third. Those 3 drivers to the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium for winners interviews.
Lyndon's strong start to the year continues. We were talking with the Outlaw Figure 8 guys about changing track conditions and it being a little bit wet. It started out almost dry, then it rained right in the middle of it, and you guys had to adapt on the fly throughout the main event.
Was there a question?
Well, what's it like when you have to adapt like that?
It's horrifying. That was the scariest experience I've ever had in my life. Going around 3 and 4, and you're full crank right, don't do it.
Of course, almost like dirt racing where the track changes every lap.
Yeah.
I guess the closest you can get on pavement.
Yeah. I'll have to try dirt.
Like to thank sponsors or supporters you got. I know you guys have been off to a strong start to your 2023 season.
Well, I got to thank all of you guys standing out in front of me. You make it so that we can race. You fund everything. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. I got to thank PRCBD, Bosworth Trucking and Towing, Oberg Filters, Brandy Hood Promotions, Uncle Wayne, John Bender, and so many other people. Just so many. I'm sorry. I'm struggling.
Lyndon Smith, strong third place run tonight in car 221. Nicely done, Lyndon. Justin, your debut for 2023, and it was an eventful one. I think there was like 6 or 7 restarts where you were on the inside of Jimmy there those last few laps.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was killing me. I was just trying to stay at Lyndon because, man, he wanted me, and he was gonna give me a heart attack. And every now and then I tried to look at Jimmy, but couldn't get it run on the inside. So figured I'd settle for a second and try to hold Lyndon off. But it was a lot of fun. Rain is always stressful, but it was an exciting race.
When you're kind of stuck in the outside like that, which it turns into the preferred line with all the rubber buildup on the inside, and especially running that tight to the edge of the banking with Lyndon right on the back of you, what was it like for those last 10 or so laps?
Oh, stressful. I knew the inside it wasn't viable, so I just had to cover the outside lane, and I knew I could hold him off. So thankfully, I managed to do it without going off the track, but it was a good race. I couldn't have done this without my sponsors. J2 Racing, Clean Crawls, Pace Engineering, and then a huge shout out to Travis, Ben, Jason, Jay, all those guys who helped get me this car back together. Couldn't thank them enough. And also to my mom and dad for all the work and support they do. Wouldn't be possible without them.
Justin Brave, second place run tonight, the 21J. Nicely done, Justin. There we go. All right. Jimmy, that was, I think, talking with everybody, a stressful main event for a lot of people, especially when you have to hold on for like 8 restarts as the leader coming to get the green.
How about starting dead last because I didn't get to qualify, and it starts to rain, and the old anxiety kicks in. You know, I've led multiple races in the rain, but I've had a rain curse. This is my first win in the mini stocks, and I broke the rain curse. It made it no reason why that's possible because I have a pit crew, changed 3 distributors today, 2 ECUs, and 4 or 5 sets of plugs. Man, they worked their butt off to be able to get me out here to race. So a big shout out to Anthony, Matt, Eli, Laura, Courtney. Man, they did so much for me today to be able to come out here and put a show on in front of the best fans in the Northwest right here in Monroe.
What is it? How does it feel to get your first main event win in the mini stocks finally?
The curse is broken, so now there's more to come, right? And I like racing the rain because you just don't know what's going to happen. And I really love racing with Justin, man. We've raced multiple times side by side and never once touched each other, you know, and he sent it in hard a couple times, and I didn't think I was going to hold on to it in that last lap, but by the grace of God and the power of the race car, we came through, man. And if I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared or nervous, but I was holding on.
Like to thank sponsors, supporters you got here tonight.
Oh, I do. All season waterproofing Kurt. They came on this year, last year, and this year they helped rebuild my whole motor. JK Automotive from out of Granite Falls. Absher, but my wife is sponsored my race car, the best sponsor in the world. My wife, NPM Welding and Fabrication. Cole Raridan, who put so much help into me, and Kenny, who took time on his day off today to tune my race car. If it wasn't for them, man, I wouldn't be here. So thank them and thank all of you guys.
Jimmy Absher, your main event winner tonight, car number 26. Nicely done, Jimmy.
We have hit the final segment on Home Track Heroes on a wonderful Sunday night of racing action. Glad to have you with us. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Dirk Cruzwick. We've got one group of cars left to go. We'll go back to the 4 cylinders, and we'll go on the figure 8. The Stinger 8s are coming up. The Buzz Inn Steakhouse Stinger 8 30-lap A main event in the wet weather, Dirk, with a big field of cars. I think this is a recipe for chaos.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how these guys maneuver through it.
Let's rapid fire through this lineup. Mike Stinson sits on the pole, the 07M. Ashley Shukar next to him, the 111, sponsored by Hop Racing.
We got Jake Reppin and Reppin Welding and Rail in the number 46. Outside, Randy Moffett in the B&R Drywall 102.
Andrew Renders is the 40. Whidbey Donut sponsors him. Michaela Larson next to him, the 57. She's sponsored by her husband.
Next row, we got Kyle Shukar in the number 78. With outside him, we got Ron Powers in the number 4.
Row 5, Derek Myers, car number 73, sponsored by Bulldog Haven Northwest. Jackson Beckel is the 18J. He's sponsored by JBR Racing and starting in the outside of the 5th row.
Row 6, we've got Peyton Hopp in the Papas in Monroe, number 16. Outside of them, we got Talon Kolar in the Rays Espresso in Machias, Washington, in the number 19.
Damon Claiborne, your quick time on the day, sponsored by Abendroth Equine, developing the horse and rider, car number 43. Next to him, you saw him win a main event already, the Precision Forestry Inc. out of Arlington 49 of Calvin Miller.
In row 8, we got Zach Bristol in the PMS Power Decals 07. Outside of rows is we got Brady Smith in the 16D.
All right, let's get to our tri-boxing to start us off. Jake Reppin in the Reppin Welding and Rail 46 was in the second row. Quickly to the outside in the upper left corner, Peyton Hopp, former track champion in the 16. Calvin Miller, the feature winner already tonight in the very chaotic bottom left corner of your screen. And there's the race in the front row. This segment is brought to you by the Buzz Inn Steakhouse. Buzz Inn Steakhouse serves hand-cut Angus steaks, breakfast all day, and mouth-watering burgers. Visit one of their 13 locations. Buzz Inn Steakhouse, proud sponsor of the Stinger 8s. And already...
We got Mike Stinson having issues going wide on the start.
You remember, he had some issues in the Hornet main event. We got a car around in the South Pole. I can't even quite tell who that is.
The 19?
All right, so Kolar's 19 who got around. That's going to give the early lead here to Ashley Shukar in the 111, so Shukar's got the top spot. In second, it's a 102 of Randy Moffett as Reppin goes sailing around the 46. And here comes Andrew Renders, powered by donuts in the 40 car, and he is moving his way up into second position. Early on in this race, Michaela Larson lingering in the 4th spot. So Shukar leads, just got that car done. Her fiance Saxon, who is Peyton Hopp's brother, has been hard at work on it, as has Ashley, and getting her all rigged together with some new safety gear and stuff, and she's looking good out in front of the field early on in this contest.
She's got to be so excited about bringing that car out and bringing it in the lead right now.
Now, unfortunately, they painted it the color of Barney, so we may have to call it the Barney Mobile until they put a different shade of purple on it. Just saying, she might hate me for that. I'm so sorry, Ashley.
Yeah.
Saxon will forgive me. Renders is second and is closing the gap on Shukar as we speak. Larson sitting in the 3rd spot. She made a good move to get into that position as your top 3 about to get to the point where they go under a blanket. Look out, little wide push in the North Pole, and that's going to cost her. Give Renders the top spot.
Looks like in a lap or two, they're going to be dealing with the intersection.
Larson battling with Shukar, and that car does have just a bit of a push mid-corner as you see it sailing wide. So gremlins to work out. Although she gets into the South Pole, yeah, you can see there is a gremlin there mid-corner that they're going to have to work on. So Renders, big checkup, and that's going to allow everybody to make a run at him. Larson barreling to the inside, contact made. Look at him go Formula Drift all the way around the corner.
That's it. That's the easiest way to deal with a push. You just hit the e-brake and get her sideways.
I like it. Nice driving from both of them. Larson's got second, and now on the back bumper of Renders for the lead, 6 laps into this. Shukar in 3rd, in the 4th spot, trying to pick up those small numbers in the back. I think that's Kyle Shukar, so it's a Shukar family reunion coming out of the South Pole. As Larson angles the car up high, brings it in back down low. Here comes Michaela, making the strong charge up on the back bumper cover of the 40 of Renders.
Miller looks like he's getting into 5th place.
So Calvin Miller is working his way up and closer to the front of the field. Calvin has no problem racing in the wet weather. We've seen that plenty of times.
You got Josh Beckel moving into 7th already.
Derek Myers is the 73 car, the red with black hood and little baby numbers on the back panel of it, hard to see thing. Shukar back by Larson, so give Ashley Shukar second. see what she can do as your lead car renders up on the back of the 16 of Brady Smith. And Smith going to force Andrew wide into the North Pole.
Really wide.
Yeah, he's having to take the scenic route out and around the north side of the racetrack there. He's got the preferred inside line going into the turn, but Smith is racing him really hard. Your leader, you like passing lap cars, but you don't like it when they give you that tough of a time getting through. And that's quickly going to put him back into slower traffic as Mike Stinson's 07M right back there. So Renders running into slow traffic drama. And the rest of the field trying to catch him.
Stinson getting in.
Oh, nice counter steer, nice correction. That was almost worse than it was.
Yeah.
So your leader, Renders in the 40. He'll get through. Now, 2 lap cars in between him and Ashley Shukar in the 111. Let's see if she's got that center corner push figured out, and she's navigating it a little bit better that time by. Renders luckily is going to be out of lap traffic or intersection drama for a good while here. And he has 1 slower car in between him and the rest of the field. Shukar second, the purple with yellow number 111. I mean, it's kind of Washington Husky colors, right?
Yeah, just needs a little bit more gold on it. You'll be good to go.
Go Dogs. As Larson in the 3rd spot and has cleared herself of the slower cars. And there is Kyle Shukar in the 4th spot. That is brother Kyle, if I remember the family relation right. So through the turn we go. Shukar's got to find her way underneath the 16. And there you go.
That's how you get rid of lap traffic.
Well, that's very familiar for figure 8 racing, though, right? A shot right at the end part of what you would consider corner entry to get you just wide enough at corner apex to go by. And that was a full turn.
That's how you finish them off,
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly. Yes. Finish strong. Does cost Ashley a couple of spots, and, well, cost the 16 more than a few. Miller gets that shot right back, and Ashley going to work to the inside and try to retake that spot. Kyle Shukar is in 3rd and is working now on the 57 of Michaela Larson. Rear bumper cover coming off the 49 of Calvin Miller. And behind him, making his way through, that is Damon Claiborne in the car of multiple colors, but big door numbers this time, so I can't tease him about that. Thank you, Damon. I offered to buy him the gaffer's tape that he would need to make the door numbers bigger. He said, no, I got graphics done. I just haven't had time to do them. All right, buddy. Well, those of us with the bad eyes appreciate it. As Renders continues to work his way through the most dangerous intersection in the world, and we are over halfway done. So, 17 in, 13 laps remaining on the ledger, as he's just in coast mode at this point in time.
Yeah, feeling no pressure at this time.
But it's figure 8 racing. Anything can happen.
Yeah, that intersection changes everything.
It's starting to get more intense for him as well as this pack stretches itself out. Generally, regular circle track racing, a stretched out pack is nice. You can deal with lap cars one at a time. You have plenty of room to get by them because we have a really nice wide surface with multiple grooves to pass it on the 3/8. But you're tucking it down to a 1/5 of a mile here on our figure 8 course, and throwing guys running left and right at you. Meanwhile, Calvin Miller with some problems came out from the North Pole, so he's going to be behind and down a lap. But that's a fast car that is now chasing your leader as the intersections start to get awfully, awfully busy.
Yeah, it looks like they're black flagging the 49.
So Miller will be sent off raceway. He will not do the double here tonight on Home Track Heroes. Renders in the 40 is rolling in on Reppin. In the 46, Reppin. Oh, look out. Gets awfully tight there in the South Pole. Meanwhile, for second, we watch Larson once again with Shukar. Stinson's lap car in the 07 with the right front tire shaking up a storm. And Claiborne on the outside looking in. And look at the spray they're kicking up now. There is some serious water down on this racetrack for them to roll through. And that's a good look from our turn 1 cam. You can see how misty it looks out there on the speedway. These guys and gals are really having to pedal it.
Yeah, Andrew's doing a great job of just putting the car down and just making his lap and just being smooth, hitting his marks.
If He knows how much room he has. He knows he can take her easy for a little bit here because he still has a slower car between himself and Larson in second. Heck of a drive for both Michaela and Kyle Shukar as Larson deals with the 16 of Brady Smith finally. Reppin is looking to make a pass for position, albeit a lap down. And, hey, you got to let them race for their spot. It's just as much a race for them as anybody else, but that's going to muck up the battle for third between Claiborne, who is in the car of many colors, and the white and blue 78 of Shukar. Now they'll go side by side, as Peyton Hopp is also trying to get involved in that battle. So Renders with the intersection getting busy. That may not have been Hopp. That might have been somebody else. Let's take a peek again as we got in through. Trying to get our eyeballs back on that car. Meanwhile, your leader just out all by himself. Chess Club president on prom night. He's alone.
Yeah, Andrew's thinking, how much time can I slow down and take caution on this? Or
Yeah, the question is, how easy do you take it? If you take it too easy, you fall out of rhythm.
Yeah.
So it was the 18 of Jackson Beckel was the car that I had spotted working his way up into that top group of cars. As he makes his way past Claiborne, boy, he is really sawing on the wheel to make his way past Shukar. And now into the top three goes Beckel, past the slower car of Reppin, and trying to bring Shukar in and with him. As Claiborne looking for a spot to advance back up to fourth. Now Peyton Hopp getting involved as the 216 cars go to battle. Peyton getting past Brady Smith's 16D. So there's action all over the place further back in the field. Claiborne works inside. He'll get Shukar, bringing Hopp with him. Kyle Shukar had been having a good run, but fades a couple of spots here in the late going as we've got 3 to go. It's easy for Renders in front of the field, as he's just hitting his marks. Doesn't even have the windshield wipers on full blast. Now checks up pretty big time to get through the intersection, but he has the gap to do it, as he'll come to 2 to go. And Michaela Larson, at least within the same corner as he is.
Yeah, she's catching him now because he's having to slow down so much. Oh, there we go.
And here's Larson, hard to the outside.
We've got a race now.
Renders cut that corner, something serious, as he'll come out, but Larson is right there with the momentum. Now what are you going to do? She'll make it through the intersection with a car length or 2 separating them. Car spun out in the North Pole.
White flag.
One more time around.
No more coasting on this lap.
Look out, everybody makes it through. This final pass to the intersection is going to be something. Renders, Larson, Beckles in third. Close enough in case something big happens. Renders, he gets creamed.
No.
Brady Smith right into him. Larson to the lead. Through 3 and off of 4 last lap heroics. Michaela Larson gets the win. Checkered and caution is out. We will see the replay coming up.
Everything you don't want to happen happens on the very last lap.
Oh, he had so much.
Oh, my
So he had all that space, and he used it, too. He was taking his time, making her easy. He goes, and bang.
And the 16 hesitated. He looks like he was going to slow down. And then he sped up again.
Oof. Well, that's going to be a not fun conversation between Andrew and Brady in the pit area once this whole podium is over. Let's take one more look. Oof, right in the door panel, and sends him through a puddle on top of it.
And insult he couldn't turn.
Yeah, insult to injury. So Larson's going to get the win. Beckel 2, Renders 3, and to the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium to sort it all out.
Here he is, third in the 40 car tonight, Andrew Reinders, and was the leader right up until the final pass to the intersection. First of all, are you okay? That was a pretty hard hit into the driver's side door.
Yeah, I'm good. I honestly didn't know if he was really going to stop just so I can hold off for the win, but once I got hit, I just didn't want to give up, even if the car is damaged or anything. I just want to try to finish it up and see if I could get to Michaela. But she got the win. She was able to, not make any contact with anybody and got the win. So that's all you can say at this point.
Well, a good way to soldier back on even after that hit. How long did it take you to kind of get your bearings after, getting back out and making sure that the car was still running?
All I can say is it'll take a long time to get this car organized, because it was really good today. No matter if it was dry or rain, it was still a good run, and it just sucks. I just want to break this winless streak, and it just kind of got robbed at the very end, but we'll try again.
Still like to thank your sponsors here with the 40 Camp.
Oh yeah, big thanks to Judd and Black Appliance, Whitby Donuts, my parents for being here, and my buddy Robert. He's done a lot to the car since I bought it, and also the fans for being here. Thank you guys very much. That's more important.
Andrew Reiner's third place run salvages things with a 40 car. Nicely done, Andrew. Couldn't quite do the 3 for 3, one spot short, but Jackson, you had to work your way from the back this time after a decent qualifying effort. You got some of the gremlins with this 18 cars sorted out.
Yeah, I don't know. That race was kind of words I'm not going to use, but I don't know. Went from the back to the front, to the back to the front, and then, here I am.
Man, it's just, again, salvage, I think, is the main word we've been using. Something with a second place run, but I'd like to thank the sponsors with the 18J Camp.
Yeah, JBR, Mike Buse with Genesis Refrigeration and HVAC, Dave and everyone that helps out on the car, PDM, yeah.
And I know the rain kind of evens things out or makes things a little bit interesting. What's it like trying to drive one of these front-wheel drive things in the rain when they already want to plow?
I don't know. This track was super slippery today. There was standing water everywhere. And I don't know. If you get hit, you slide everywhere. So, I don't know.
Jackson Beckel, second place run in the 18J. Nicely done, Jackson. So Michaela going into that final lap, really it was until 2 laps to go there where Andrew had to check out for that lap traffic. Is that kind of when you thought, hey, I've actually got a shot at this going into the final lap?
I was just hoping he would end up checking up because I wasn't going to stop.
And I know you and Kyle and Ashley were having a great battle there. Once you finally got clear of that, was it kind of, cruise control from there, kind of slotting into second, or once you sensed some blood in the water, it was all on from there?
Honestly, I don't have mirrors, so I have no idea what's going on behind me, but I just pay attention to who's in front of me and trying to catch them.
Best way is to look forward. And what is it like to get the main event win? How does it feel after kind of stealing one away there?
Feels really good to be back up here.
I'd like to thank sponsors or anybody else with the 57 Camp, Michaela.
My dad, my husband, Grasshopper, Jamie.
Michaela Larson, your main event winner tonight in car number 57. Nicely done, Michaela.
Well, Michaela Larson pulling off the shocker at the end with the umbrella and the baby in hand, collects the trophy and the win in a crazy Stinger 8 main event, a Buzzin' Steakhouse Stinger 8 main event. Dirk, that was nuts.
Yeah, it was incredible finish, but that's what racing's all about.
What a way to finish out your first Home Track Heroes, huh?
Yeah, this been a blast.
Well, we're going to give you next week off because the next week here on Home Track Heroes, coming up on Sunday night the 21st, the street stocks are in action. Your driver, Jesse Jensen, going for 2 in a row. That's going to be fun.
It's going to be, and the weather's going to be beautiful.
That's right. So, next Sunday, Home Track Heroes, you're going to get the Granite Super Sprints, you're going to get the Super Stock Figure 8s, the Youth Hornets, the Legends, and the Tire Pro Street Stocks. Dirk's car will be out there. Come check it out. It's going to be a good time. The next time you can be live at Evergreen Speedway is coming up on Saturday the 20th, where the Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late models will be on the card. We'll get the mini stock Stinger 8s, Outlaw Figure 8s, and Hornets. It's also Military Appreciation Night. Military members and their families come on in free of charge, courtesy Evergreen Speedway.
That's wonderful. It's nothing better than being at Evergreen Speedway live.
Dirk, thank you so much for coming out. We'll have you again, Caleb, down the road. For all of us here at Evergreen Speedway and Home Track Heroes, our camera crew and the production staff, thank you so much for hanging out. For color commentary, Dirk Cruiswick, I am Caleb Hart. Good night, everybody. We will see you next Sunday night here on the CW11 for Home Track Heroes.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.